Hello everyone and welcome back to 27 Fox Place. Decorating for the holidays is always a messy business. In order to put up the Christmas tree, we have to pull everything out from underneath the stairs, so everything gets piled up into the dining room, and then once we get the tree out, we have to rearrange the furniture to make room for the tree, and by the time we get all of the decorations out and the furniture moved out of the way, I'm usually ready to sit down and take a break. There's too much to do all in one day, so most years I'm lucky if I can just set up the tree and hang up the garland.
Deck the halls with boughs of holly. La 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 la. 'Tis the season to be jolly. La 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 la. Don we now our gay apparel.
Some years I can't wait to start decorating, and other years I need a little more motivation, so it always helps if I can just set up the tree. I love the convenience of an artificial tree because it's quick and easy to set up. I can put it up early and I can leave it up as long as I want to, and the branches don't droop, so all of the decorations stay where I put them. It does take a little time to fluff out the branches, and we still get pine needles everywhere, but it's definitely worth it.
Treasure, la 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 la. Fast away the old year passes, la 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 la. Hail the new year, lads and lasses, la 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 la. Sing we joyous all together.
I'm off to a late start this year. I usually like to have all the decorations up before December. I like to get started over the Thanksgiving holiday, but Thanksgiving was late this year, and I've been trying to finish up another project in the house. Last year we were updating the primary bathroom, and this year we decided to give the living room a fresh coat of paint and new baseboards. It's a project that I started in October, and all I really wanted to do was replace the old beat-up baseboards, but if you give a mouse a cookie, I was hoping to get everything done before Thanksgiving, but there's still a lot more I need to do. Christmas is just a few weeks away now, so I had to take a break and get ready for the holidays. We've been using the same garland forever. There wasn't a big budget for Christmas when we first bought the house, but I really wanted to add garland to the banister, so we picked up the cheapest garland we could find. I've been wanting to replace the garland for years, but a good quality garland is pricey, and we have a lot of railings to cover, so I keep putting it off. A few years ago, I tried to beef it up a little bit by attaching a second strand of garland, and it definitely helped, and once the branches are all fluffed up and the lights are on, it looks very festive. It was much cheaper to get unlit garland and then wrap it with lights, but in order to add the lights, we decided to attach all of the strands of garland together into one very long piece. So to make it easier to attach the garland, I've attached little pieces of tape so that I know where I need to attach it to the banister. It makes hanging up the garland so much easier because I don't have to run back and forth to make sure that all the swags are even. I usually attach the garland with command hooks, but I'm out of the adhesive strips. I used up the last of them last year, and then I forgot to stock up again for this year, and instead of running around looking for command hooks, I had to come up with a new plan, and I thought about using zip ties, but the only color we have is black, so I'm using floral tape to attach the garland. It's not the best option, but it won't damage the railing, and if I do happen to find new strips this late in the season, I can always swap out the tape.
Out in the fields, dark was the night. Quietly shepherds were resting.
I always try to keep the holiday decorations organized so that I don't have to waste time searching through the bins and boxes to find what I need. The bins with the orange lids are fall decorations, and the bins with the green lids are for Christmas. I have 2 bins just for ornaments, and then I have separate bins for the garland and gift wrapping. The tree always takes the most time, so that's usually where I start. It's much easier to add the tree skirt before the tree is put together, but then it gets covered with pine needles, and then once the tree is decorated, the ornaments can get in the way. So I found the best time to add the skirt is after I set up the tree, but before I start adding the ornaments.
There he lies in a swaddle.
When I decorate the tree, I always start with the ribbon. I like to add several bows together at the top of the tree to help create a topper. And I like to use pieces of ribbon about 3 to 5 feet long. I make a few loops and then I use the wire branch in the tree to secure the ribbon in place. And once the bow is secured in place, I can just weave the rest of the tail in and out of the tree. The last few years, I've started working with shorter strips of ribbon because it's much easier to work with than one long piece from top to bottom. I like to use the 5-foot sections of ribbon to make larger loops and bows, and then I use the shorter section to fill in any gaps. Every year I usually do something a little bit different with the ribbon. I did use the same black and white polka dot last year, but I paired it with a gold plaid ribbon, so this year I'm just using the black ribbon. I usually spend the most time fussing with the ribbon, and if I don't stop myself, I could spend all day adjusting it, but it really doesn't have to be perfect because once the rest of the ornaments are on the tree, the ribbon will just blend into the background. The ceiling in our living room is 2 stories, so we have a 9-foot tree. Anything shorter would look too small, and anything taller would be too much work. I like to keep the colors on the tree neutral with lots of gold and silver to reflect the light, and because we have the tree in the corner, I only need to decorate half of the tree, so I don't need to wrap the ribbon around the entire tree. Only the front half of the tree is visible, so the ribbon only needs to cross from one side to the other.
Follow the star. Come on, nations together. Come bring your gifts to Jesus our Lord. Emmanuel, Emmanuel, God is with us. Emmanuel, Emmanuel, God is with us. Emmanuel, Emmanuel, God is with us. Emmanuel, God is.
Once the ribbon is on the tree, I can move on to the garland. And I can't remember if I used beads on the tree last year. Some years I add beads to the garland on the banister, and some years I don't use it at all. It just depends on how much time I want to spend on decorating, but I decided to add beaded garland to the tree this year. I have 2 60-foot strands of gold beads that I drape across the front of the tree, and then I have another 4 separate strands of beaded garland that are about 6 foot each. After I get the ribbon and the garland on the tree, I like to move on to floral stems and picks. I'm just using a few of the gold leaf picks this year. I only have 12 picks, so I can only add a few to the top to help build up the topper, so that way I have enough left over for the rest of the tree. And because the bottom of the tree is so much bigger than the top, it needs the most decorations. So to help distribute the ornaments and decorations evenly, I like to divide the tree into 3 equal parts, a top, middle, and bottom section, and I try to reserve half of the decorations for the bottom section, but there's not a lot of room at the top of the tree, so I only place 1 or 2 ornaments at the very top. The ribbon and the garland cover most of the tree, and then I can start using the smaller hanging ornaments to fill in any holes. And I like to start with the round ornaments. I have two sizes, so I like to start with the large size, and I just start looking for any holes that need to be filled. Another way to help distribute the ornaments evenly is to put one ornament at the top of the tree and then place another directly below it, working down the tree in a straight line. I only have half the tree to decorate, so I can divide the tree into 3 vertical sections, left, middle, and right. Then I can arrange a line of ornaments straight down the middle of the tree, and then another line of ornaments on either side of it. And then I shift the ornaments down on either side so that the ornaments are staggered. It also helps to divide the number of ornaments that I have to work with into 3 parts. So if I have 12 ornaments, that means I have 4 ornaments for each line, and I try to make sure to keep the distance between them about the same. After the round ornaments, I move on to any irregular shaped ornaments, and these snowflakes are the most recent addition. I found these last year. They're large and I only have a few of them, so I'm only going to put them towards the front of the tree. I'll put 1 at the top, 2 in the middle, and then I'll put 3 towards the bottom. Last year, I wrapped up a few empty boxes to put underneath the tree. We don't have a lot of storage room, so I had planned to recycle them after Christmas last year, but somehow they made it into the closet, so I can reuse them again this year. Now that the tree is up and decorated, I wanted to take a minute and put some things away. I still have some decorations to put up around the house, but I need to tidy up and put away any totes that I don't need so that we can get our dining room back. There's still a few Christmas totes that I need to leave out, so I'm just going to stack them up out of the way so that I can vacuum up all of the pine needles. And once I finish decorating, I need to go through all the bins and see if there's anything that I can declutter. I've been wanting to add garland to the kitchen window and the fireplace, but I don't have any room to store them, and I've also been wanting to add another small tree to this dining room. I found a tree a few years ago, but half the lights went out the first week, so I had to return it. So I decided to try again this year, and I think I found one that might work, but it didn't arrive in time for this video. I I usually need about 3 days to decorate the house for Christmas. I only spend a few hours at a time, so I need to decorate in phases, and the tree always takes the most time to decorate, so that's usually where I start. I've tried a few different ways to decorate the house for the holidays. I've tried setting up and decorating the tree one day, and then hanging up the garland and decorating it the next day. But I like to get the tree and the garland set up first thing because it always puts me in the holiday spirit, and that way I'm more motivated to spend more time decorating. We've been collecting Christmas decorations for years, but I'll try to leave links in the description box for any of the newer items. I found these pillow covers last year. I always try to stick to a neutral color palette that blends in with the rest of the house, and these pillows were just perfect. They add just a hint of Christmas, and they don't take up a lot of space, so they're easy to store away after the holidays. We've always had stocking for the dogs to stuff with treats and toys, but when I started hanging up the stockings, I realized that this was our first Christmas without Miss Callie. So we only have 3 stockings this year. I usually like to hang the stockings on both sides of the mantel, but with one stocking hanging all by itself, it just seemed a little lonely. So I decided to group them all together on one side. The stockings don't have names on them, so to tell them apart, I found some lettered ornaments so that I can hang the first initial on each stocking.
Whoa, oh, oh. Da, 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 oh, oh. Da, 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 oh, oh. Da, 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 da. Making our Christmas memories. I've been working so much lately, I can barely find the time to sleep. Yeah, I spend my time running around, keeping people pleased. But this is my favorite holiday. It's a chance to start over new. 'Cause I missed you, so I'm letting go of everything but you. These are the good times with you. Baby, this year it's just gonna be you and me. Hang by the fire and chill. Isn't this how it's supposed to be? Making our Christmas memories. Oh, and I've been longing to hold you close. Forget about everyone else.
I found this little deer at Hobby Lobby a few years ago, and when I pulled him out of storage this year, I found his leg was broken. So we rushed him into surgery. He just needed a little crazy glue to get back on his feet again.
Da, 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 da. Making our Christmas memories. I've been wrapping presents for you. I've been hanging marbles in the tree. And I lit my house with Christmas lights, so you should come back home to me. And when we wake up in the morning, I'm gonna play those carols that you love. We'll be singing all the melodies until the sun comes up. These are the good times with you. Baby, this year it's just gonna be you and me. Hang by the fire and chill. Isn't this how it's supposed to be? Making our Christmas memories. Oh, and I've been longing to hold you close. Forget about everyone else. Isn't this how it's supposed to be? Making our Christmas memories. Oh, oh. Da, 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 oh, oh, oh. Da, 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 da. Making our Christmas memories.
I can't remember where I saw this little trick, but it was so cute that I had to try it. So I grabbed 2 kitchen towels and folded them up just to make a simple bow.
Just you and nobody else. It's so good to see you again. To see you again. Baby, this year it's just that's gonna be you and me. Hanging by the fire, chill. Isn't this how it's supposed to be? Making our Christmas memories. Oh, yeah. I've been longing to hold you close. Forget about everyone else. Isn't this how it's supposed to be? Making our Christmas memories.
I'll be the first to admit that I'm not the greatest when it comes to making bows, but I saw a new hack that I wanted to try. I had ribbon that I used on the tree last year that was already cut to size, so I thought I would make a few bows to add to the garland on the staircase, and I have to say it's one of the best ways I've found to make bows. I started out using the paper towel holder and it did a good job, but the spacing was off. The bows were coming out too large and some of the strips that I had to use were too short. So after I made the first few bows, I realized that I had to come up with another plan. I ended up using the larger bows that I had already made on the newel posts, and then I ended up using 2 chopsticks to make smaller bows. I had to use some packing tape to attach the chopsticks to the countertop, and I spaced them apart so I could get the smaller size that I needed. It was easy enough to make them, so I'll be able to take them apart and remake the bows every year. I just have to remember how to make them again next year. I ended up having to make 11 bows for the garland, and I'm pretty happy with the way it all turned out.
When everything is white, glimmering silver white, and stillness fills the night, it's Christmas, a winter wonderland, a snowball in each hand. Take me away, Christmas Day. There's joy in the air, families near. We give thanks for this past year. Oh, nothing compares to the love that we share. Oh, what a bliss. A green red delight with glimmering silver wine. You dazzle us all, from big to small. Warm laughter and white smiles, my presents stacked in piles. Take me away, Christmas Day.
That's all for today. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and remember to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications before you go. Thank you so much for spending your time with me today, and I hope to see you next time.
There's joy in the air, families near. We give thanks for this past year. Oh, nothing compares to the love that